Will Ramos from Lorna Shore, and you are listening or watching Loud TV. Thanks so much for being here. This is amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, never in my life did I expect to be playing arenas with these dudes. I've been listening to them since I was in high school. Since Horizons, Deep Blue. That was the best. And if you asked me back then, or if you told me that I would be doing this now, I wouldn't believe you. Since COVID, pretty much, I joined as a fill-in right before COVID hit, and then when everything shit hit the fan, everyone flew back from tour. They were like, "Hey, do you want to be the vocalist? What's going on? Do you want to do a little EP?" And then that's when I joined. So right around when COVID hit, about 2 years ago. Oh, this is the fastest anything has ever gone as far as me and any career that I've ever pursued. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, I never thought that this would have blown up as fast as it did. I've known the Lorna guys for a long time. They live in New Jersey. I live in New Jersey. My old band was basically Lorna Shore V2. And it was from the same area, and we knew each other. I've known Austin for years at this point, about 5-6 years since I was in Awaken Providence. That was the band's name. And when the whole CJ thing happened and they needed somebody, they said, "Hey," Austin called me and said, "Hey, do you want to record a song and just try it, do Death Portrait, send it back and see, maybe we'll see, if you can do the run." And I said, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go." I told my boss, I said, "Hey, I need to do this. I can't come into work today." And she said, "All right, that's fine." And I recorded it, I sent it in, became the fill-in. Again, the whole COVID thing happened, but I guess because everything worked out on that run, that's why they said, "Hey, you're coming back." I used to be a production assistant for 4 or 5 years. I've done a lot of office work. Imagine that. Imagine this guy in the freaking office. I was that guy. I would walk in, people would look at me like, "What the hell is going on?" And I was a freelancer, no less. So everywhere that I worked, it was a completely different spot. It's not like I show up and you get used to me. It's like I show up and everybody's like, "Who the fuck is this guy? I work in an office." Nobody else has tattoos. That was a great job, though. I've never felt more comfortable recording an album or recording anything, really, because I just had so much freedom with the band, and that's what makes me feel comfortable. So I don't feel like I have to uphold any standards. I can just do what feels right. If there's anything that the EP has shown me, it's that. And so, yeah, I was incredibly comfortable this one. As far as I'm concerned, any vocalist could have ended up becoming the vocalist for Lorna Shore. I'm happy that I'm here, but at the same time, I think it's not just me that... A big thing that people love when they hear a vocalist, they're like, "This is the best vocalist." I think it's a collaborative effort because certain instruments and certain things that people do will complement the vocals and make the vocals sound better. And the same thing, the vocals will also complement the instruments, assuming you do it properly. So, I love what people say, but at the same time, I think it's such a collaborative effort that people don't realize that it's not just me, it's literally everybody. You watch a movie, it's an experience. And it's not just obviously what's going on visually, but the audio helps make everything, and it brings you into this, this vibe or whatever. And you don't think about how these orchestras, and you watch a Marvel movie, and you see the battle, and you hear the horns going off, and you're like, "Whoa, I feel powerful," or something, And I think when you put that kind of stuff into our genre of music, it makes you feel powerful, and it makes you feel like you're going on a journey, whether you're aware of it or not, because of just how many movies you've seen in the past.
Would you like to experience in cinema for a Lord of the Rings, bad guy, or?
I have tried so hard to get into voice acting and all that other stuff, because that is the future. I feel like as a vocalist, that's what I want. I want to be in a movie or have my voice be in a movie. And there's one time I actually hit up Doom, the video game, and I said, "Yo, my name is Will. My band's doing pretty okay right now. If you want to check us out, you ever need any voice actors in the future, I would love to work with you guys, whatever. Putting it on the table. And they responded saying, sorry, sir, no soliciting. And I was just like, damn, you beasted. I'm here like, I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to solicit myself. I'm just trying to figure out what I have to do to be that, to take that first step. And it's hard. A lot of it is like you need to join a voice acting guild. A lot of back to the film world is what it feels like. Honestly, my last job is like, oh my god, here we go again.
What character would you like to dub?
Oh, I would be like either the final boss in a video game, which actually I am doing voice acting for one video game. Just saying, like little indie game thing. But or if it was a movie, it would be like the baddest guy, because already they do it. You know, they'll just have somebody say it and then they'll pitch shift it down like crazy and they'll throw a billion effects on it and now, wow, it sounds nuts. But what if you had a heavy metal screamer? Then you can throw in effects and now it's even more insane. So Josh helped a lot with the symphonies, but he more helped us just figure out where these things go so it flows smoothly. At the end of the day, we had Andrew. Like, while I was working on vocals, we had Austin working on drums and breakdowns, and we had Adam doing riffs and melodies and all that other stuff in the other room. And Andrew was on the laptop just creating symphonies, throwing hundreds of layers, it felt like sometimes, into these songs. And you could hear it. That's what makes it sound freaking huge, because he literally has all of that in there. If I were to think of a color, it'd be gray. If I were to think of a color, it'd be gray. Pretty much, because the album encapsulates trying to escape and just eventually getting to this point where it's bleak and it's almost no point to, you know, really anything. And that's what we were trying to capture. I would say gray. Gray's a good color. And I even when we were doing the album, the cover, trying to figure out what we were gonna do, we were like, this is gonna be gray, because everyone feels that, and I think that just encapsulates it better.
So, is it a kind of a concept album?
Yes, I always try and write concept albums, because for me, you know, it's easy for some people when they're writing an album, they could just think of a million different ideas and just kind of throw them together, and now this is the whole album. When I'm writing an album, I overthink the crap out of it, and I'm like, how am I? You want me to write 10 songs about being sad, and now the album is called something like Sad or something? Like, that's cool. I can't do that. I can't think of 10 different things in one theme. So for me, I come from a background where my sister was an author, my dad always read books, my other sister, like everybody in my family is very into literature, and I've always read manga and comic books. That was my form of literature. And yeah, I mean, we try to, I want to write an album that's like a story, because that's my form, I guess, of doing my own literature, you know. I don't read books very often. I don't write books. So that's my equivalent of writing a book.
But you have an artistic background, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I've always played instruments growing up, so my mind was always trying to create something. And so I think when I was doing the album, I was like, I want to create my own story and then have a very human experience behind it so that everybody can kind of relate to it. I try and be, so my dad was very much into philosophy, and I've always been interested in it. Unfortunately, I was not very good at college, so I didn't really, you know, do too great in philosophy. But I always loved the idea of just thinking differently. And so for this album, I try to think about the idea of like, what is real, like what people perceive to be real is usually whatever is real to them. You know, reality is whatever you see it as. So whether it be in a dream, whether it be I'm sitting here, and I try to think about those things. I try to encapsulate all different philosophies. We put mythology, Icarus, you know, Azrael. Like, all these little themes in my life kind of just came together to make that, I guess. Oh, I can't wait to play with those guys. Aborted we played with the drummer. He played with Decapitated when I first joined for that fill-in spot. and he's the best drummer I've ever seen. He's on point, perfect every single time. And then we were talking to him about a video once. We're like, yo, dude, you killed it in this video. He's like, nah, it was bad. I'm like, you're fucking insane. I can't wait to see them every single day.